Guys, welcome, and this is the thumbnail I created for my series, my Photoshop series on YouTube, named my Photoshop Journey for Beginners series, right? Yeah, and someone requested that I do a video on how I created the thumbnail, okay? And I quickly want to do that, after which I'll continue with the series, okay? So let's quickly dive into it. I have some stuff here you wouldn't understand. If you don't understand anything, don't worry. I'm going to start from scratch, and if you don't get it, don't worry. Anything I do, if you don't get it, don't worry. Just follow the series of videos I'm doing. You get to understand how everything originated and how everything was done. Okay, so the very first thing you want to do is set up your page as usual. Okay, so you remember we have our saved document here. Let me check my saved. I don't know, I think it didn't save. Okay, so I want to create a new document. So just look at what I'm doing. Okay, kindly go to print, choose something like A4, and everything is set up already. All right, then change the millimeters, the units from millimeters to pixels. Then make here 128. Oh, I think my nums lock is off. Very sorry about that. So make here 1280. Still off, 1280. All right, so 1280, and make the height 720. Okay, and what else? Okay, so just click on create to create your work area. Now this is your work area. You want to create something like this. Where did I get this from? Okay, I didn't actually come up with the idea. I saw it online. So the very first thing is, this is our page. You have everything set up. Our tool is selected, our move tool is selected. Kindly go to your browser, open up your browser, okay? And I got a picture from here, Photoshop cover 2022. So I searched for Photoshop cover 2022, and I got a couple of options, and I think I chose it at first. It wasn't looking good for me. I chose this also, it wasn't looking that good. And I went on to choose, let's see, I don't know, it's not popping up here. I went on to choose this one as well. It wasn't looking too good for me, and I went on to choose this finally. So this is what I recreated and made in my mind, okay? So we are going to do exactly this. Now the very first thing is, you need this picture here, and the picture, you can just search for the picture by writing Photoshop 2022 in your address bar. Photoshop, search for Photoshop 2022 splash screen, okay? Splash screen, and go to images. And let's see what we have here. We want to look for a very good one with high definition. Okay, I think this is good. I think this is perfect. So we want to save this image. We want to save this image and use it for our work. So kindly put your cursor on it, wait for everything to load, right click, and go to save image. Okay, just go to save image, and you have the image here. I've already downloaded it, so I'm going to save it, and it's downloaded, fine. And this is what we want to recreate. Okay, this is what we want to create. So I hope you found it. If you've not found it, you can just look it up here in the video and create it. Okay, so you want to right click down to and save images and whatever, just save it. All right, so once you're done saving these two materials, you open your Photoshop app. You have your work. Okay, so I'm going to put the image that we are going to recreate. I'm going to drag it into my Photoshop. Okay, I have it here, so I'm going to drag it into my Photoshop, but instead I'm going to put it next. You see where we have the tabs we have Untitled? I'm going to put it next to the Untitled. It will open a new tab for me, and this is the tab we were working with. Fine. Now we want to grab the colors and start working with it. and create our background page and start working with it. All right, so the very first thing is we want to grab this color. Kindly go to this color box here. You want to set your foreground. This first color, blue, dark blue, is called foreground, and the one behind it, the violet, is called background. So this foreground, just click on in the middle, on it in the middle, and you have the color picker already. You see, when you put your cursor on your image, there is a cursor on it. Okay, the cursor changes and it turns into an arrow. Okay, it turns into an arrow. So just click on it. You see that it has picked the color, and here's the color code. So if you're not getting the color, this is the color code. This is the color code. So for instance, if your color is something like this, it's something like this. You see, it's red, and you want to get this color, and you don't have any image to pick from, just input this color code. Okay, 0055FE. So input it here, 0055FE, and you see you have the color here. So click on OK, and it changed. Now we want to pick this second color. What you do is click on the background box and pick the color. Okay, if you're not getting the color, here's the color code, 0037DA. Just put that in this area and click OK. Now you have to use these two colors and you are good to start with your work. Now go to your page, your work area, and save the file. Okay, before anything, save your file. Control plus S for save, or you can go to the file tab and click on save as. Now you want to save it as YouTube, so YT thumbnail, new or something, right? Oh, sorry, YT thumb new. You understand? So this is what I want to do now. I've saved it. Now we want to create our background. What do we do first? Look, you see where we have your layer panel, this side, okay? There we have some tools down here. You want to go in for the round one. It's like a divided circle, okay? You want to go in for that. So select that, and you have some options here. You want to go in for solid color. Okay, now you see that when you click on solid color, it automatically picks the foreground, this very first color here. You see, it picks this very first color. You can cancel it. Just cancel it. I want to show you something. Cancel it. Now if you swap, use this button to swap the colors. Okay, if you swap the color and bring the background first, so it becomes the foreground, you realize that when you click on this round circle, divided circle here, and select solid color, it picks the color that you've brought in from the foreground color. Okay, now we don't want to work with the foreground color. We want to work with the background color. So you can either go and swap, or you can use the color picker here to pick the background color. You see, or foreground, background, or you can even pick here, or yeah. So you can pick the area. So just pick the background color. That's what we are working with, the light blue, and click on OK. Now we have the very first thing down. Let's check on our work. Okay, this is the work, and this is what I did. Now this is what we are doing. What do we do next? The next thing is we want to create this art here, this nice thing here. Okay, so listen and listen good. Okay, you want to work with the pen tool. Now if you don't know the pen tool, I'm going to introduce the pen tool to you. Now look on your tools panel. You have this tool here. It's called pen tool. You can activate that tool by clicking on P. Okay, you see my cursor changes. Let me click on V to select the move tool. Okay, so P will activate that tool, or you can come and look for it here. This is the tool. That's the icon. That's the symbol. So click on that tool, and you realize that the tool is ready to be used. Okay, so right now you don't know about the pen tool. The pen tool is used to draw. Okay, you can see that I'm doing some drawings, and you can do all these drawings, you see. So we want to use this to create what we want to create. So let me get rid of all this by using escape. Now you realize that the pen tool is ready to be used. So what you want to do right now is go to the image you downloaded. This is the image you downloaded. This is what you want to create. Now set a point here, and before you continue with everything, click on escape as many as you want to clear the point. You realize that I was having a point here, but after clicking on escape, the point vanished. Okay, as many as you want, the point will vanish. I want you to zoom out. Okay, and this is the zoom symbol. I can use my shortcut to zoom in and out by holding Alt, Control, and using my mouse scroll to zoom in and out. Okay, if you don't have that option, I want to show you how to zoom in and zoom out. Okay, so this is the zoom symbol 2. This is the zoom 2. When you hold, by default it's on zoom increase. When you hold Alt, it changes to zoom out. Okay, so by default it's on zoom in. If you hold a Alt, it changes to zoom decrease. Okay, zoom out. So now I'll be clicking on your mouse to zoom out. You see that it works. Alternatively, you can hold Control and Alt and use your mouse scroll. Okay, your mouse scroll to be zooming in and out. Now let's go back to the pen tool by clicking on P or choosing the pen tool on your left pane, like the left panel. Right, now select a point, just create a point like that, and take your pen tool to somewhere here. Okay, somewhere here, and click and hold. Okay, click and hold. When you click and hold, drag it downwards. You realize that it is creating the shape. Okay, and take it a bit to the right and be bringing it up a little. Okay, so down, right, and be adjusting it like that. So right, left, right, up, down. Click and hold and drag. Left, right, up, down, left, right, up, down, till you are able to put it on the curve like that. Let's do it again. So select your pen to zoom out, check a point here, and check another point here. But before you check that point, check and hold. Okay, click and hold. Don't click and leave. The first point, when you check it, you just click it once. But with the second point, click and hold. Okay, when you click and hold, drag it downwards to the right. You realize that it's creating the curve that you want, and leave it slowly till you get that curve. Okay, now leave it. When you are able to get the curve, leave it. Leave your mouse, don't hold it again, leave it like this. Now check your last point somewhere here, and with that one, drag and hold like that. Okay, drag and hold. You can be zooming out, Control Alt. You can be zooming out. Okay, it didn't really work out for me, so I think I have to zoom out a bit and undo. So I'm going to use Control Alt Z to undo. Now make sure you still have your pen tool active. I think we made a mistake. Okay, so I want to start from scratch. Check this point with just a click. For this point, click and hold and drag to get your curve. All right, and the last point, hold it somewhere here and drag it. Still not getting the curve. I think I would have to come a little closer. Okay, so coming a little closer works. Okay, so now we have the shape we wanted. Now just be pointing, create other points here to join this. Okay, now this is what we wanted. Now we have it. We have this shape, this curve here. We have it. Now the next thing you want to do is, after, just hold it like that, hold it there. Now after you are done with this, you want to put in this color, the second color. Okay, and you have to create a new layer. Okay, just go to your layer panel. There's this icon here. Click on it, create a new layer. Click on that and come back to your window. Make sure the pen tool is checked. Okay, come back here and make sure you have selected the new layer. Make sure you have selected the new layer. Okay, and click in the thing that you created, the object that you created, the selection that you made. Okay, the curve that you made. Click in it. You have all these options to you. Now choose fill path. Okay, it's a path that you created. Choose fill path, and you realize that you have some stuff here on this interface. Okay, what you want to do is this is foreground, okay, and background. You can swap, you can change. So let's choose foreground is this, I've already told you, and background is this. So we want the deep blue. So let's select foreground and click on OK. Now you realize that the color has filled it. Now right click again and delete path. You realize that you have created this layer, and I'm just hiding and unhiding it here. Okay, you realize that you have created it, and click on V or select the move tool. When you select the move tool, you realize that you have created what you just wanted to create. Okay, undo. I want to reposition it. Okay, so right now you have what you want. What you want to do right now is select it with your move tool and drag it to your work area and drop it. Once you drop it, it drops. Okay, if you're not getting this box around it, check this box. Okay, choose your move tool and check this box. Okay, now once you have it like this, just put it at the edge. Put your mouse cursor at the edge. You have this icon and click it once. You realize that the lines were dotted, but now they are straightened. It means that you are ready. It's ready for you. It's ready for you to edit it. Okay, now with my Photoshop, the version of Photoshop I'm using, I'm going to use Shift and Alt to resize it without stretching it. Okay, you see it's stretching, it's resizing from the center. Okay, so right now I'm resizing. Now I'm going to leave the mouse, holding the mouse, and leave the Alt and Shift. And this time I want to stretch it. Okay, this time I want to stretch it so that I get what I want. So I stretch it one by one. If your Photoshop is not giving you the option to stretch it, I will just use Shift or Alt. Try either Shift or Alt so that you get to stretch it. Now double click or use this icon here or this symbol here. It means confirm. You are done. So you have created your page and it looks so good. Next thing is you can hide this. Okay, you can hide it. Now click on Control 0 to zoom in. Okay, to zoom in, zoom out. I've already showed you how to Control and Alt and on your mouse scroll. Your mouse scroll to zoom in the center. Now this is what we have. We want to put this picture in there. All right, now what you do is you want to create the space for the picture. Okay, so just change your foreground, or you can use the default. The black and white here works. Okay, when you click on it, the colors here change to black and white. Now let's say you want to put it on white, so use this button here to switch. Put it on white. Now come here, this symbol here, and right click. Okay, instead of selecting rectangle, select rectangle, rounded rectangle. Okay, select rounded rectangle. Now when you select the rounded rectangle, you realize that the options here change. Make sure here is fill. Okay, it's fill white. You don't temper with any of these. If it has not changed, don't temper with it. But if it has changed and you're having some stroke, you just cancel it. Okay, and your foreground, don't cancel it. Put it on the black and choose the color to be white, like this. Choose it to be white. Okay, and leave that place. Don't temper with any of this. Now when you come to this side, you realize that there is radius. Okay, you realize that there is radius. I want you to put in 20 pixels, px. and click on enter. Once you are done, make sure your rounded rectangle 2 is selected and draw it. Okay, draw it like I'm doing. You can decide to draw anyhow. Okay, so draw something like this. Okay, draw something like this, and you realize that it's been drawn and it's ready to be used. Okay, so let's see. There's a little space here, let's bring it all that. So let's open a little so that we have that space here, and it's okay. So we have our rounded rectangle. Now you realize that the rounded rectangle is on top of this layer and on top of the color, the background. Now if I pick this background and put it here, it becomes on top. It stays on top of all the others, so it makes them vanish, but they are still there. If I put it in the middle, you realize that this one has vanished because it is on top of this one. It's on top of the layer 1. Now I have to put it behind it. You see, so that's how the layer concept works. Very well. Now what we want to do is we want to put this picture. Okay, we want to put this picture in this rounded rectangle. Now I believe you've downloaded the picture as I told you to do. So I'm just going to grab my picture and drop it here. Oh, not this one. So go grab the downloaded picture and drop it in your working area. Okay, drop it like that in your working area and click on enter or double click to release it from the editing mode. Now, once you have this, what you want to do is move your cursor to the edge, okay, edge of the document or the file or the image, and it gives you this icon. Make sure it gives you this icon. Then click on it once. When you click on it once, you realize that everything changes. It enters into the editing mode. Now you can flip it. Right click and you get options to flip it. Horizontal. You can flip it left, right, anti-clockwise, vertical. You see. So let's see. Please go back to your referral. Okay, so it's showing the image is looking on the right. The human being in the object. Okay, the image is looking on the right. So let's see what we have here. So if what you downloaded, put your cursor on the edge again and get okay. So if what you downloaded is looking like this is not what we want. We want it to look like this. So just by flipping it horizontal, you get this. Now you want to move it here. Okay, move. If yours is not above the document, make sure if yours could be somewhere here or somewhere, check on your layer panel. Okay, move it on top of all the layers and then it comes somewhere here. Now when it happens like that, make sure it's on the rounded rectangle. Okay, it's placed right on the rounded rectangle. Now when you do that, select it in the layer panel. When you select it, hold Alt. Just hold Alt, don't do anything. And move your cursor in between. You see there is a line in between the rounded rectangle and the image. Move your cursor there. When you move your cursor there, you realize that there is this arrow that shows. Okay, it means that you want to put the image in the rounded rectangle. Okay, so now when you see that icon, just make a left click like that. And voila, the image is in the rounded rectangle. Now you realize that the image is in the rounded rectangle. And you see, select the image and put the cursor at the edge. And try moving the image. You see, when you move the image out of the rounded rectangle, it doesn't show anywhere else. It shows only in the rounded rectangle. Okay, so put it somewhere here and leave it. Now we want to align it. So select the image and select the rounded rectangle. Okay, both hold control and select the rounded rectangle and the image both at once like that. And make sure you are on the move tool. You have these icons showing here. It's called align. Okay, so use this one to align it to the center and use this one to also align it to the center. You realize that it's in the center now. The image is in the center of the document. Now when you are done, you have selected both image and the rounded rectangle. I want you to group them. So just select both like that using Control and your mouse, your left click, and go below your layer panel. You see this folder icon here. Just select it like that. Click on it once and it will group both items. Okay, to put them in a group. Now you have them in a group. Now if you want to move both at once, make sure here is on group. Okay, really take it off layer and put it on group. Well, once you have it on group, you can move the rectangle and the image at once. Okay, let's put it where it's supposed to be. I think here. Very well. Now we are done. We've placed the image on it. Let's go back and see what we have next to do. Okay, so we have some writings to do, and let's see. So go back to your work, and this time I want us to start following this. Okay, I want us to start following this. So what we are going to do is you want to create this PS right here. So go back to your work and put your mouse, select the group layer here. You can decide to open it or close it. Just select the group layer and go to the left side. Okay, you see your rectangle. Choose your rectangle, not round the rectangle. Choose rectangle this time, and go to your working area, and draw something like what you saw there. Okay, something like this. See, something like this. Now after drawing it, select the move tool. Okay, select the move tool like that and resize this side, just only this side. Okay, and make it look nice. Clean up your work and select it again. You can select it from here, select it from here, and move it somewhere here. Okay, I'm cleaning up my work, so clean up your work. Now when you're done with that, you want this same color here. You want the same color, so I'm going to pick the color code here. Okay, I'm going to put the color code. This is the color code 001E36. Okay, so I can copy this color code or anything. So when I select this layer here, the rectangle one, you can just double click in the empty space here. Sorry, if you want to change the color, just click on here and put in your code. Okay, and when you put in your code, you realize that it changes color. Very good. Now the next thing is you want to write a PS in it. Now select the text tool and make sure you have selected your rectangle too, so that the text that you're about to write will be on top of the rectangle too. So select your text tool and write somewhere here PS. Okay, now the PS, you have your PS. Now after writing your PS, select all with Control A, or just use your mouse to select all, and go to your font area and change the font to, I think can be typing in it. Okay, select everything, clean it, my read or something. Is it my read? Yes, my read, like that. Okay, so my read Pro, I think we should go with the bold. No, let's go with the bold. Okay, so my read Pro bold. Now select your or you can just use this mark here, or select your move tool, and you are done. Now move this onto your rectangle. The reason why it's not showing is they are all of the same color, so you can change this color by double clicking on this text layer icon here, and there is this color box here. Just change it to white. Okay, change it to white and click on OK. Now once you have it on the rectangle, it's surely going to move on. It's going to be on the rectangle. Okay, and double click again. Double click on the text layer with a T, and you have this icon here. Okay, we want to be working with this icon up here. Okay, if you don't have all these icons, just go and double click on the T here like that and click on this. It gives you this panel here, and you want to manipulate the text size. Okay, I think it's 20 you want to put it on 80 for my work. Okay, it's 80. Now I want to center it. Okay, so I'm going to select it and use Control to select the rectangle one in addition. Then I'm going to use my align. Okay, just use this one. If you use this one, it will go to the middle. You don't want it to go to the middle. Just place it somewhere here. Now, very good. Now deselect, click on an empty area to deselect. Now you realize that this is very long and we don't want it to be very long. So just select the rectangle layer and reduce it. Reduce it and double click on it. Now when you double click, it becomes something like this. Select the rectangle again and the PS with Control. Hold Control and select that one in addition. And group it. Okay, just group it. Just group it with a group icon I showed you. No group something here. Okay, so when you group it, you realize that this is your PS. Okay, now you can move it any way you want to move it to. Make sure here it's on group. If it's on layer, you can just move one thing. That's not what you want. You want to move both. Okay, so put it on group and move both at once to a very good point. I think that place is good. Now deselect by clicking any empty area. If you want to deselect any empty area, just click on it and deselect. Now we are done with this part. It's left with some few text that will be writing like this, and I want to continue that in the next video. Thanks for watching. See you.